name is Rashad Mozell. I'm here with Professor Alexis Joyner at, what's your name of your gallery?
The gallery is called Joyner.
Joyner Gallery here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Professor Joyner was my professor in Elizabeth City State, and I was coming through there, and by far one of my favorite professors. So I had to interview him here in this gallery. You're going to see a lot of his work I took pictures of. I couldn't wait to do this. He's retired now, but he's still staying busy, as you can see in this video. You will see his show. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And
Yes, sir.
All right. So, born and raised in Southampton, Virginia.
Southampton County, Virginia.
Right.
Home of Nat Turner.
Home of Nat Turner,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Very historical place. So where did your inspiration come from when you work?
Well, a lot of my work derives from memory. You know, I go back to childhood. Growing up, some of the elders in the community had plenty of stories to ignite your imagination. I mean, just set you on fire.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Right. So tell us about like your college journey to how you get to Elizabeth City, your career.
Well, I started, if you want to go way back, I started drawing when I was probably 2 years old.
Okay.
I had an older brother, he's now in Atlanta. His name is Rashad. You know, I was probably in the scribbling stage, and he was in the naming. He could draw, you know, better than I could because he was older.
Okay.
And I strived to draw kind of like he was drawing. And as we aged, he stopped, and I never stopped drawing. So drew and carved and did little things all through like elementary school, grade school, high school. Then I went on to Virginia State College at the time and majored in art education. And you know, did everything as an art educator. You paint, you draw, you sculpt, you do printmaking. And then I started teaching in 1979 over in Alexis County.
Okay.
I taught at a middle school, grades 4 through 7. And while I was doing that, I enrolled in graduate school at Old Dominion and Norfolk State University. So I taught middle school during the day, did grad school at night. Took me about 4 years to do that. And after I finished my MFA, I started applying to different universities. Thought I was going to end up in Alaska at one point. Then,
a little cold for a brother.
yes, a little cold. So, as fate would have it, I was on summer break, laid back in my little mobile home, about to burn up. I said, man, let me get up. And it just occurred to me, go look at the art department down there in Elizabeth City. Because I'm in Chesapeake, only about, 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes away.
Hot skipping the jump. Huh?
Hot skipping the jump. So I jump up, head to Elizabeth City State to look at the art department. And I ran into Eugene O'Neill, who was teaching there then, and he was running the gallery.
Okay.
So I spoke to Eugene, and he invited me to do a show.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did a show down in 1986, the fall of '86, and the show was very well received. So the chairman of the department at that time, a gentleman by the name of Dr. Dan Pierce, asked if I wanted to do some adjunct. So I said, sure. So I started teaching art appreciation and ceramics at night.
Okay.
So I'm working in Smithfield, which is 40 miles in one direction.
Right.
And I come back and I go 40 miles in another direction.
Right.
So that's, if my math is right, that's about 160 miles a day.
Mm.
I did that 3 days a week. Yeah, so. Started, as I said, in '86 and became a full-time professor there in '89. And I worked there for about 28 years. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And recently retired, well, about 4 or 5 years now.
Right.
And it took me about 37 years to become a full-time studio artist. So here I am.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. So before I let you go, what would you say is your driving point? What keeps you going? Because even though you're retired now, still wonderful art everywhere, still going at it. What keeps that drive going for you?
Well, I've always had that drive,
mm-hmm.
and it's real difficult to explain. I mean, once that creative urge or whatever you want to call it, that inspiration grabs you by the jugular. It doesn't let you go.
It doesn't, yeah.
You gotta create.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like breathing for me. If I don't create, I don't feel good.
Right. Right. I know it's challenging sometimes, but like, you ever get into those ruts, or what they call, some writers call it writer's block, but I guess you can call it artist block, if you will. Is there any way that you get out of that?
Well, the best way not to get into that rut or that block or whatever
mm-hmm.
is never to get in it in the first place.
Okay.
Yep. And that requires discipline. See, I wrote a poem about it some years ago about that, and I did a piece called The Black Muse.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can't wait around
mm-hmm.
and wait for some muse to land on your shoulder or whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
You got to go get it.
Right.
And part of that is discipline. You go, you work when you don't feel like it, when you're sick. And as my mother used to say, just get in the way. If you stay in the way, it will come.
Right.
But it's all about discipline. Yeah, it's discipline.
Wow.
More so than waiting for inspiration or the moment.
Right.
You create the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we want to wrap it up. Thank you again, Professor Alexis Joyner, for sharing your artwork and gallery with us.
Oh, no problem.
Look forward to seeing more work from you.
My pleasure.
And as always, as a former student, still learning from this man. So I can't say I'm a former student, I'm still always learning from him. He's been my inspiration.
I learned from you as well, just as much.
Thank you.
Now, let me interject this. The gallery's name in Joyner is like an African nation, what would you call it? Africanization of Africa? Well, it's an Africanized version of Joyner.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking about that. It was like,
that's what it is.
Okay.
An Africanized version of the name Joyner. Which, like because Joyner is probably English. Right. And it has to do with a trade. A joiner is like a carpenter. Right. Somebody who joins wood. Okay. Which is kind of ironic. Right. You living up to the name, right? Yep. That's right. That's awesome. Yeah. Yes, indeed. But it's been a pleasure, my brother. It's been a pleasure, too. Yeah. Thank you so much. No problem. This has been a treat for me to do. Yes, sir.